Hey guys, today is day 7 of my 7-day chakra series, and we are going to talk about the crown chakra in this video. The crown chakra is where your personal journey meets something that is much greater than you can perceive with your logical mind. Not God, not the universe, not source either, but a direct felt sense that you are connected to life, to real meaning, and to something that goes much deeper and beyond logic. So you cannot explain this with your logical mind. That when the center is blocked, then the result isn't just spiritual confusion, but it's actually a real existential pain. It's almost like a sense of flatness that you can't shake, or a hollow feeling of just going through the motions of life in a kind of autopilot. And perhaps also that creeping voice in the back of your mind asking you, what is the point of all of this? Does that sound familiar? So, this is not necessarily depression, although it could feel like that. It's a disconnect from the divine spark within you, the part of you that actually knows that you are here for a reason, but you can't quite grasp that reason. The crown chakra is your energetic bridge between the earth and the cosmos, so between yourself and source. And it's not about floating off into the ether either, but it's actually about finally coming home to your full true self in your current body, in this current moment, with all of your systems, meaning chakra centers, being fully online. The crown chakra center is also called Sahasrara in Sanskrit, and this energy center sits at the top of your head, literally. It is the highest point in the entire chakra system and also the culmination of your inner journey. So think of it almost in terms of climbing the ladder from bottom to top. This chakra center is associated with your pineal gland, with your nervous system, and also your subtle connection to consciousness itself. This center governs spiritual awakening and a sense of higher purpose, clarity that goes far beyond your intellect, and also inner peace. But there's a massive paradox with this energy center, because when the crown chakra center is blocked, then you don't just feel spiritually lost, but you might actually feel numb or isolated, or perhaps like your fire actually lacks meaning, no much matter how much you actually do or push from a drive and sheer will perspective. And when this chakra center is overactive, then you might dissociate and become ungrounded due to that dissociation, or hyper abstract or obsessed with spiritual ideals that ultimately keep you disconnected from your real life and your real purpose, your higher self, and your true will. This center is also not about escaping your humanity. A lot of people tend to think that. It's actually about remembering your divinity while fully inhabiting your life. And that means being fully present in your body and not suppressing or repressing any part of yourself. So, being a fully integrated human being that remembers his or her true divinity because he or she is fully integrated, does not have repressed parts of the self. If your root chakra is more about survival and your sacral chakra more about sensation, and your solar plexus is more about will, and your heart center more about connection, and your throat center is all about or more about truth, and your third eye is all about perception, then your seventh chakra point, your crown chakra, is literally about the integration of all of the chakra centers below it. But see, here is the thing, integration actually involves wholeness, and most people try to activate the crown chakra without having stabilized the lower chakras. So they chase transcendence while still living in trauma mode. And they seek cosmic unity while actually bypassing their emotional wounds. They want the light, but they haven't actually made peace with their own darkness. And hence, integration, if you approach it from that perspective, won't actually happen if there's no real wholeness or facing off the shadow. So here's a quick checklist that you can use to see if your crown chakra center is perhaps blocked. Do you feel purposeless no matter what you try to achieve? Do you have a sense of a deep fatigue that's not really physical but more existential? Do you perhaps have a loss of faith in anything that goes beyond the material world? Or a sense that you are not really living at all, but just existing, just breathing? It can even show up as nihilism, as apathy, as hopelessness, and as deep despair. And if you are constantly in this fog of distraction, stimulation, or chronic mental noise, then your crown chakra center may be either offline or perhaps only completely overwhelmed. Now, an overactive crown chakra center, on the other hand, can show up as the following symptoms: as living in your head constantly, where you live so much in your head that you are actually ungrounded, where you are escaping into spiritual fantasies or conspiracy thinking, when you are having spiritual experiences that feel unintegrated or confusing, perhaps even destabilizing to your life. Perhaps you are becoming so focused on higher realms that your physical needs themselves and relationships start to suffer because of it. Because the crown chakra center isn't actually about checking out of life itself. It's about tuning into something that's so vast while still staying rooted in life itself. And when this chakra center is balanced, then you move through the world with a quiet knowing of safety, of who you are, of what your higher purpose is. When this chakra center is balanced, then you are not constantly chasing answers, signs, or spiritual highs or highs of life itself, because you're anchored in the present and simultaneously open to the mystery of life. So you start to see that you yourself are the bridge between heaven and between earth, between the unseen and the tangible, and literally between being human and then being more than human, so actually being divine. So, how do you actually reconnect with your crown chakra in a way that is more grounded and much more embodied? Firstly, you have to recognize your own disconnection. So, a way to do this is to ask yourself, where in my life have I lost my sense of meaning? Don't necessarily look for a dramatic event that happened, but in the slow fade of where joy used to live. Bring awareness to that void, because the awareness is the first light on your path. Next, simplify your input, because too much information, stimulation, and scrolling, all of it clouds the signal, and your crown chakra needs silence, spaciousness, and simplicity. So try 1 full hour a day without noise, without your phone, without a laptop, without tasks, just space and quiet. Thirdly, reconnect with your body, because the crown chakra is all about consciousness, but the portal is still your nervous system in your physical body. So walk barefoot on the earth, take cold showers, do yoga nidra. Let the divine actually descend into your body and not pull you out of yourself. So the importance is to stay rooted. And fourth is to contemplate the infinite, but don't actually overthink this infinite. Lie on your back outside, look at the stars, and ask yourself, what am I part of that's actually bigger than just me? And don't overthink that question, but let the question echo into the universe without needing an immediate answer. Fifthly, you can also chant Om slowly and fully and let that vibration actually vibrate through your skull and let it dissolve the walls around your actual thoughts. Let Om remind you that sound and silence are not necessarily opposites, but they are actually gateways to something higher and also something internal. And finally, reintegrate spirituality into your daily life. So, light a candle with intention and drink water or tea or coffee with awareness. Make your everyday moments in life sacred moments because the crown chakra opens when life itself becomes holy and sacred and beautiful and joyous again. So, in conclusion, guys, the crown chakra isn't actually about escaping your life, but it's actually about rising up and then realizing that everything that you are reaching for already exists within you. Remember the Hermetic axiom as above, so below, as within, so without. So, this is the top of the ladder. It is the place where all your inner work actually comes together. And it is also the place where you don't just survive or create or express or perceive, but where you actually start to recognize yourself as part of something that is much bigger than you could have perceived before this point. So, not something that is just outside of you, but something that actually includes you. And because connecting to Source itself doesn't actually mean that you are bypassing your human experience. Remember, connecting to Source means that you are fully inhabiting it while staying connected to the highest parts of yourself at the same time. So ultimately, the center is about aligning your body, your mind, and spirit, and then learning how to live from that place of alignment. This was day 7 of my 7-day chakra series. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, please give it a comment, and please also subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. You can also follow me on Patreon. The link will be below. See you in the next video.